Welcome back to PSC Tech Bytes. This is the third episode about how to manage throttling when consuming Microsoft Graph using SharePoint framework. And today I want to show you how the Microsoft Graph Toolkit is really helpful whenever you want to consume Microsoft Graph, even when there is eventually a throttling event while consuming the Microsoft Graph. So, like always, let me move to the demo environment and let me show you how MGT can help you building really solid solutions with SharePoint framework. So, this is the demo web part that I've shown you already before in the previous episodes of this series. And here we have a Show MGT component button. If I will click on it, I will be able to use MGT to load the person component showing the information about myself. And it is pretty straightforward. Now, let me refresh this page and let's say that we want to use the M365 proxy to simulate a throttling issue. So let me go here and let me start the proxy with a failure rate of 100%, meaning that all of the requests will fail. So now that the proxy is running, if I go back to my web part and I click on Show MGT component, we can see that we are loading data. We are trying to load data at least, but we see that the request will fail. And it will fail up to 4 times because the MGT component will try up to 4 times before giving up. Now we are at 3, and now when we will try to make the 4th request, and here we can show a nice message saying that we cannot retrieve data for the current query, or you can specify whatever text message you like. How does it work? Well, if I go to Visual Studio Code, I can show you that here I defined for the Show MGT component button a little piece of code which will simply enable a flag which will show the person component of MGT. But I also defined a couple of custom templates for the person component, and those templates are for the loading and for the no data template. If we scroll a little bit up in the source code, we can see that the template is a custom one that I defined right here. And in this one, I simply say that based on the props input of type MGT template props, which is just made of a template and of a data context, well, if the template will be loading, we can just say loading data. And of course, here you can use whatever kind of HTML and React components you like. When it is no data, so we were not able to retrieve data, we can show a different message, which is the one that I'm showing right now. So now that we have seen this behavior, if I go back, stop the proxy and refresh the page and eventually configure the proxy for a failure rate of, let's say, 40% like we did before. So let me do a 40% failure rate. Now the MGT component will try again up to 4 times and it will try to load data, and hopefully it will successfully be able to retrieve data because we said that the failure rate will be 40%. So we will be able to see the output, and here we are at the 3rd request. So the very first 2 requests failed, the 3rd one was successful, and as such the MGT component for the person as well as any other MGT component is fully resilient to the throttling, and you can rely on it and to the custom templates to show custom messages to the users in case of any failure due to throttling. Like always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.